All right. Hello, DBT gang. Nice to see you all. We're going to be doing our next emotion regulation homework. Change one thing and change your destiny. I don't like the word thing, so we're going to change that to change one piece of your emotions and change your destiny. Thing is such an imprecise word. My English teacher always hit us about that. He's like, shouldn't use the word thing. Gotta watch our shoulds. And if we can be a little more specific than things, it'll be better. So, before DBT, you may have felt destined to act out your emotions despite knowing the consequences. You may have felt like you're stuck in a loop. Today's homework, we're going to be reviewing how to change your emotions, mood, and behavior. There are many reasons for our emotions, whether it's a prompting event, an interpretation, or an after effect of an emotion you just had, meaning like the feeling that you're feeling now is par and parcel from something that you just felt, and it's like regurgitating into the next emotion. There are also different biological changes and expressions of an emotion that you can tune into to recognize that you're experiencing a particular emotion. I'd like to add here too, if you're vulnerable towards feeling a certain emotion heavily in your body, you might start to feel anxious based off of certain body sensations. If you're used to panicking and you know it so well, if you ever get short of breath, you might start to have panic and anxiety challenges just because of your breath. And it wasn't necessarily a prompting event, though that's a little more rare. The beauty of all these factors, causes, and experiences of your emotions is that if you change one of these elements, you can change your whole emotion. If we look at page 213 of our DBT skills workbook, you'll see the schematic of having an emotion. And just like any recipe or schematic, let's say we're baking cookies, let's call it a recipe, right? If I were to take chocolate chips out of my recipe and just cook the cookies straight, they would be a shortbread cookie, not a chocolate chip cookie. If I were to take my oatmeal raisin cookie and swap in chocolate chips, I'd make a whole new cookie, an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie instead of a raisin cookie. It's the same thing with our emotions. If we're able to change one aspect of the emotion, if we're able to change one aspect of the system, the whole recipe is going to come out different. Our feelings can be changed. I want you guys to break down 3 emotions below and write down where you're able to change your emotion and where in the emotional system you made this change. Report how this change made you feel. You can reference page 213 for the model of describing emotions. You can also use our emotion handouts, page 214 to 223, in conjunction with the model. By the way, guys, if you're not part of Insight DBT, just a little fun tip, there is a free PDF of the DBT Skills Workbook online if you type in DBT Skills Workbook PDF. It's a Squarespace website. It's very handy if you need the workbook, so you can download that. All right, let's give an example. A, what was the prompting event? So let's think of something that happened. Last night. My wife always loves, by the way, she's in all these examples, but it helps to have her and our relationship to, to work a pretty real life example through. So what was the prompting event? My wife asked me to fill her water cup when she went into the shower. So we have a water cup on the side of the bed. She has a water cup, and she fills it up so she could drink in the night. And she's also pregnant, so she asked me to help her out. And of course, in my perfectly wise mind right now, no problem, honey. But when it's 11:30 at night, you're tired, you have to wake up the next day early. the emotion mind can kick in a bit more, being real with you guys. How was I interpreting this event? For a quick flash, because my emotion mind, I was pretty wise mind, but my emotion mind came in. Quick flash, it said, unfair. Do it yourself. I'm being real. I'm being real with you guys, right? But this was for a flash of a moment. I was able to get back in the wise mind pretty quickly. But I didn't stay there for the whole time, because what biological changes started happening? I started to feel irritated in my body. I started to feel tight. Started to feel my head start to get flustered. I started to feel myself getting a little pissed, a little like, I don't want to do this. Working so much and all that good stuff, you get home, you relax, and you don't want to do anything else. So I was definitely starting to think in my head, having that experience, like starting to, say, I don't want to do it. Let me write that down. I don't want to do it. I'm tired. And, I was just starting to feel it. And what was the expression of the emotion, right? I got snippy. I might have said like not nasty. I would say a little more snippy. My wife was saying don't you want pillows to sleep with? And because I was not sleeping with a pillow, and I was just trying to sleep my neck straight, and I went back at her, answered, I would explain it to you, but you wouldn't understand. And that's not nice, emotion mind won in the end a little bit here. And so what was the after effect of the feeling? How did I feel afterwards? Oh, guilty, Your Honor. I feel very guilty. And I wanted to joke about it, brush it under the rug, And what was the emotion you felt? Frustration. I would not say full-blown anger. Frustration. Let's just throw it out there. Anger. My therapist is watching this video. So, did you feel the need to change or lessen this emotion? If so, why? Yes. Yes, I did. Because I wasn't nice. It wasn't in character. I was not in a wise mind. So, that's the honest truth. Where could you have interrupted the chain of factors above to help lessen or change your emotion? So now let's look here. We got to go back. So what are the biological changes and experiences I had over here? What was the expression of the emotion? What was the after effect? So really, I think for me, it was right here. This is where we could have made some changes. So, I'm starting to feel irritated in my body. Could have definitely taken some deep breaths. when I felt my body getting tense. I could have thoughts that I want to express my value of being a loving husband. I could have thought about, being kind. I could have stated my needs and said, I'm tired and I don't want to do it. Because a part of my emotion mind, especially over here, is starting to say hey, I'm tired, I don't want to do it, I think it's a little more wise mind, I value my relationship with my wife. I don't want to inflict any damage to our relationship. What if I were to say no? What if I say, please do it yourself? I'm tired right now. I need to get to bed too. The thing is too, and the example, right? I go to bed a lot faster than my wife. So maybe she has the energy. She has more energy than me to do this. It's an interesting thought. It's not a bad wise mind thing to start saying, hey, can you do it a little more yourself? And it's the worst when the Brita filter that we have isn't even filled with water. That's even worse. Anyhow, I think that's not even such a bad way to go. Then we get into love languages, and we get into the gray in this, the dialectic. Sometimes she can do it, sometimes I can do it, right? But asking maybe for the meantime for her to do it as a way of showing me that she cares about how I feel. Maybe that'll help emotion mind feel a little bit better. Relax my body, relax my mind, and change the whole emotions that I'm not even, maybe it's like a bump of irritation, and then ask for a change, and then it gets validated in a perfect world, right? You say yes, and now I feel a lot better. Because the guilt I was feeling before was not from, not doing the water bottle thing. I show my wife I love her in 10 million ways. It was from going above and beyond to say something that was snippy, that was a little nasty. So, it's funny. It's like we got into emotion regulation, and, a lot of times it becomes about anger and anger towards other people. It's not always like that, but there's a big aspect of managing our relationships with others in DBT. And definitely irritation with others. It's such an important thing to learn to manage. Though all this works for sadness and anxiety, shame, guilt, the works. So, you guys got 3 sections to do this. And by the way, all these handouts are free to anybody online at insightdbt.com. Go to the tabs and go to the homework section and the scroll down, and you'll see. It was good working with you guys today. Keep up the great work. Please comment any questions you have down below. And if you're having any mental health challenges, please reach out to a mental health therapist that can help you in your state. Take good care of yourselves, guys. Bye-bye.